Hello, everyone. I hope you have had a great day. Um, I try to make it as short as possible so I do not bore you with my presentation. There will be a little bit of reading because I used a lot of quotations, so I apologize in advance. Well, sorry. Okay. Let's see this. Well, the first issue of MELA Notes rolled off Jim Pollack's typewriter in the fall of 1973. It opens, the Middle East Librarians Association begins to publish MELA Notes as part of its reason for being. If this publication will continue to be read, it is because we now encourage you to recall us to our purposes by your contributions and notices, and because you heartily do so. Are you okay? Okay. Well, the primary purpose of the first issues of MELA Notes was to narrate and document the story of MELA as a newborn association. So the history of MELA Notes as the formal journal of the association, or as Pollack says, as part of its reason for being, is intertwined with the story of creation of MELA. In his article titled The Genesis of MELA, in the first issue of MELA Notes, David Partington states that the story of creating an organization for Middle East librarianship in North America started with a questionnaire. The Committee on Research and Training of MESA, headed by Professor William Shorger, asked each fellow of MESA to answer a questionnaire dated April 10, 1968. The questionnaire included questions regarding the potential strategies that could help improve library and archival resources for research and training in Middle East studies. In response to this questionnaire, Partington writes, I would respectfully recommend that your committee assist in setting up an organization for Near Eastern librarians. A step in the direction could be joint sponsorship with the Library School of a symposium on Near Eastern librarianship. This symposium would urge, I assume, the creation of a professional organization attached to MESA or functioning within the American Library Association. The idea of an organization, as Partington says, was raised at the 1967 meeting of American Oriental Society in New Haven when Dr. Warren Suneshi called together a few Middle Eastern librarians in his Park Plaza hotel room to discuss means of cooperation and the need for organization. In the April 1968, the MESA's Committee on Research and Training appointed Dr. Labib Zuwaya Yamak to set up a subcommittee to deal with library and bibliographic matters. The mandate of subcommittee was announced as A, to deal with all matters relating to Middle Eastern library resources and their bibliographic control. B, determine the major library needs of Middle Eastern studies. And C, establish, initiate, or sponsor projects to meet these needs. As William Kopecky writes, the topics of librarianship and bibliographical concerns were seen from the very start of the Middle East Studies Association conference within the context of MESA's Research and Training Committee, RAT. For the first annual meeting, held on December 8 and 9, 1967, a roundtable on library and bibliographic problems was headed by Dr. Yamak and Dr. Partington, both of Harvard University. These roundtable discussions continued on an annual basis. These topics, of course, were pursued in the first issues of MELA Notes as well. As a result, more than 70% of articles and notes published in the first 20 issues of MELA Notes are centered around the issues of Middle East librarianship as well as bibliographical concern related to that. let's say here. Copy key continues. Gradually, however, some participants felt that concerns of the committee were more oriented towards academics, and that there was less of an interest in the technical matters of librarianship. Again, referring to the first issues of MELA Notes, one can see that most articles are written in the form of reports to the use of the academic librarians and faculty. In fact, the first articles that directly reported on technical and cataloging issues were published in MELA Notes in 1978. There were 3 articles in that regard in the 13th issue of the journal titled Arabic Cataloging, Problem and Progress, Automated Processing at the New York Public Library, and ALA Subcommittees on Descriptive Cataloging and Subject Analysis. However, as time passed, the technical aspects of librarianship became one of the most significant topics in the journal. There were also several articles published in the late 1980s, which are considered as cataloging milestones. I'll just skip this part. And well, another example is, I just named a few of those milestones here, which are available in the Williams paper that we can refer to later. Another example in this article, I wanted to skip this part. Well, the first issues of MELA Notes appeared on 22 pages. It featured a report on the British Middle East Librarian Committee, an essay in appreciation of Taha Hussein's call of the Curlew, and assorted news of activities of library organizations with interests relevant to MELA. In addition to such pieces focused on Middle East librarianship and Middle East studies collections, some reports and article series, such as Association Chronicle, report to the membership, collation from other library areas touching Middle East interest, and library tours, look-ins, and notices, first published in this issue, were continued in almost all issues of the first decade of the journal's publication. Article series, well, by article, I mean, if you go and look at the first 10 years of the journal, you'll see like most of these that we call articles in these presentations are very short reports, 1 or 2 pages maximum. Article series, such as reports of acquisition tips and publishing activities in the region, also have been some of the most crucial features of MELA Notes in the first 2 decades. As Kapeki writes, actually, some of these articles on Iran, Syria, Tunisia, and Saudi Arabia have usually been the first of their kind in English. Well, the journal kept the same format until February 1980, when in issue number 19, the first book review was published. So I got excited when I was writing this part because I am the book review editor. It was only 1 book review on the issue number 19, and the number of book reviews increased gradually over the years through the 1980s and reached up to 3 reviews in each issue. The significance of book reviews in MELA Notes increased over the years to the extent that from the issue number 60, published in the spring of 1994, to the present, the journal is basically divided into 2 sections of articles and book reviews. Book reviews, especially from the 1980s on, were more focused on the new books related to Middle East studies, bibliographies, and Middle East librarianship. Book reviews were traditionally authored by MELA members and also by outside contributors. However, during the recent years, PhD researchers and graduate students have been among the most active contributors of this section. Well, about this chart, I have listed. I'm doing a project of indexing all the articles on MELA Notes. I've done the first 12 years for now. Well, based on these information, you can see what kind of subjects were more common during the first 12 years, 1973 to 1985. So as you see, general reports with 67 articles are the most common ones. And then after that, collection reports and also Middle East librarianship. Okay. So the physical aspects of MELA Notes also have been changed significantly over decades. In the article titled Massaging the Notes, the author writes, in the very first issues of MELA Notes, the format was as plain as the prose was literary. 8.5 in 11, easy to file, starting with issues number 16. The prose, like the Times, grew linear. The 8.5 in 11 frame persisted. It seemed appropriate to the task of communicating among the membership and other interested in the nitty-gritty of Middle East librarianship. But a vein of opinion to upgrade the notes always existed, and in November 1980, surged to vote out the old and bring in a new format, smaller, double-paged, encumbered. What the new magazine format will do to the content of the notes is uncertain. The new notes stand up better. It's easier to take to the beach or camping. That was how we imagined ourselves back in 19. We thought people would maybe take our articles to the beach. It is easier to read in the bathtub. Its covers suggest prosperity, and its the stapled folds suggest weightier pages. The retooled notes is assuredly modern in that it reflects a particularly contemporary awareness that form and content and are intimate. Well, the author of this article continues to upgrade the notes. We change the form with confidence that the content will follow. One may argue that the change in the format indeed had a positive impact on the content, especially in 1995, when the volume of the magazine increased dramatically from about 30 pages to something between 60 to 100 pages. Articles that until then were mostly short reports by librarians for the use of librarians became longer in size and broader in content as well as their fields of study. This change, in turn, increased the article's means of contributing to the field of Middle East studies and boosted their academic value. The volume of issue kept increasing up to 150 pages in the 2000s and 2010s. So I'm going to skip another part as well. And just to wrap it up, one of the most important things that has happened during the past few years was the digitization of the whole collection, which are all available on the website and JSTOR right now. And also turning the journal to an open access resource, which is a great help in making our journal even more accessible and available to everyone. Just to end it, since 1973, 9 distinguished librarians and scholars have served as MELA Notes editors. MELA Notes have also had 2 book review editors since 1997. We didn't have book review editor back then. And here is a list of these editors, and well, a more completed list of committee members, authors of the journal, as well as members of the association will be available very soon, as we are doing a project with the help of my colleagues, which we call it the MELA family tree. That's basically a MELA database of the members and professional and associate members. So with that, I just hand the mic to Mohammed. You want to continue? Well, thank you.
Thank you, Farshad, and I will not. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Farshad. I will not take that much of your time, but I would like briefly to say that when we started thinking about MELA 50th anniversary, we wanted to know who were the members and who are the members, who are the active members, where they were and how they lived their life, where they moved from to that place, from a place to a place, and so on. And it was very difficult actually to get that specific information from anywhere. So we were looking everywhere to get this type of information in some way. So we were looking for any way to get the members or to know more about the members, especially the founding members of MELA, who was there at this time and so on. So we were looking in three different directions. The first one was to check with MELA secretary, our beloved member of MELA, William Kubacki, who was actually in that position for a long time now, asking him about if he has specific information or documents or notes or lists or databases. And luckily, he actually has a database that he used for secretary work. So who paid, who did not pay, who is active, who is not active, and all of that. So this was a good part of what we were looking for, but we also were looking for something more to say who was there and who was moved from that place to this place. For example, when we speak about University of California, Los Angeles, who was there in 1970, and then 80s, and then so on until now. So kind of looking at the institution and who was there. And if that person was in Princeton and then moved to UCLA and then moved to Washington and then moved somewhere else. So kind of building that kind of family tree. So the information that William has was great, definitely, and very useful, but we still wanted also to see if some people were moving from a place to another place. And voluntarily, Farshad agreed to work on the MELA Notes and see the first very few issues or very few years of that to see where people started and how they ended up or where they ended up and so on. And we have, after his tremendous work, actually, he went through the MELA Notes from 1972 or 3, the first issues, until 1990s or so, where he collected, I think, more than or close to 250 names of MELA members in the first 20 years. And this was a very good data set to combine what William has from 2000 forward for anyone who is actually a member or who was a member in MELA. So we feel that we have a good understanding of where we are right now, but we also wanted to know who is active, and people probably would say something about themselves that we will not get from these two resources. So we came up with the idea of having a survey to everyone to ask MELA members now to share their photos, and actually some of the photos that you saw in the short video came from that. Share the photos, share information about their institutions, where they started and when they are now, and so on. So we can actually have that type of all the information collected in one searchable, accessible portal where we all know where we are and whom to contact, who was to know who was in Princeton and then moved somewhere else, or who is now in one of the libraries in the Arab countries, in the Middle East, or here, and so on. And because we also see that MELA is growing, it's not just US, North America based now, which is actually, we have a lot of members from that part of the world, but also we are including lots of people from all the Arab countries or the Iranic speaking countries, all the other places in the Middle East. So it's kind of that big project that we have in mind, and we work towards really doing that specific project. We came up actually with an idea, the three of us, Farshad, William, and myself, also volunteered another member who is our tech team person, Hisham Makki, was the manager, database manager on the Library of Congress Cairo office before he left to University of Florida now as the head of technical the head of computer science there, I think. So he also worked with us to build the kind of the database or the portal that can show us all of this. So this is just to get you excited about what we have done. We still need a lot of contribution from everyone, lots of ideas and lots of directions where to go and how to enhance it, how to show it in a better way and all of that. And because of that, we invite everyone to attend the business meeting, MELA member business meeting tomorrow at the end of the day, to also see the database, to see what we have done so far, and to share your thoughts about this. But just to leave you with whatever we collected from and also the other big part of that was also to see the old pictures of people. And actually this was another problem when we started thinking about how can we speak about the 50th anniversary without actually showing the picture of David Parrington, Fawzi, and so many other founding members that without their work we wouldn't be here today. So we wanted actually to show their pictures, and we were finding very difficult time actually to see who has pictures here and there, and kept asking everyone from members who've been in the membership for a long time to share their photos. Some of these photos shared, and we collected a good number of photos. We still need definitely to have more. So we have two big projects that they are working together. So kind of building the database that has MELA members, and as far as we can and as much as we can, we also have their pictures or anything that could tell us about the history of the association. So we hope to have that database or portal link it to MELA website as the big product of MELA 50th anniversary. And we worked on that. We started, but this work needs to still a lot of enhancement, a lot of work to be still continue. And we believe that we'll have more work for the next year to do, but we need your thoughts actually tomorrow in the business meeting. Show you the website, show you the pictures, and share your thoughts about that. And I will stop here. I was planning to show you something, but I will not. I will leave it for tomorrow, so you will be excited about it. William, do you want to say anything? I think this was, the whole idea was, it's not a new idea. It's not actually our idea. It was William's idea and John Isles' idea to have the MELA family tree, but we are trying to do it now. William.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think on this occasion of our 50th anniversary, and we started the morning hearing from a founding member of this association. And as librarians, archivists, and information professionals, we find ourselves very concerned with, preserving the, books, writings, documents from the countries we deal with. But we kind of forget to preserve our own cultural heritage as librarians, as Middle East librarians, or even as area studies librarians. So when we hear what Fawzi said this morning, I mean, these were the pioneers. A lot of us wouldn't have jobs now if it wasn't for them, because these are the ones who gave the importance that libraries should have specialists for Middle East collections and books. So the work we do, we should be very grateful for them. At the same, so we need to document, we need to show that the collections are built by people. It's not just the books automatically come in somehow, it's the work of people. So knowing the names, knowing the people is really crucial. So you will hear more about this project tomorrow and down the road, and I hope that you would all be willing and able to participate, not for today, but for the ones who come after us. Thank you.
I think you all already know by now the video that we started with in the morning. We had lots of photos from members who shared their photos. It was great actually to put that together. The conference committee worked a lot with our very active member, Lily Saifi from Iran, with her students actually, with whatever going on in Iran right now, she was able to produce that film or that short video to document the history of MELA having all the photos from that we were able to get from the past until now. And as you can see in the video, it is actually deliberately meant to say that it started like this, but we now actually all think about, okay, oh, who is that person? Who is this person? Oh, probably in the past or in the new members. So this was actually the goal, to really say that MELA started in 1972 and it's going forward, and we will have that documentary for us in today, and we'll probably our next generation will actually show something that we have done for today. And as you see me in the whole room all the day actually collecting photos, because we also want to build MELA photo archive. So it's kind of that vision that we have. So hopefully we'll be able to achieve that hopefully next year, and we can have a systematic adding things to all of this kind of photos, maps, names of people, putting things in place, collecting resources and organizing them in the right way, so we can actually show how strong we are as an association. Most of what I see or what I hear from everyone saying, oh, MELA is a small organization that is doing this type of thing. And I don't want that to be the case actually in the future. We need to show how strong we are and how effective we are in the work we do. So it will be shown in that specific situation or in that specific way. We definitely need your thoughts and ideas about this. Anais, do you want to run the video one more time so at least we can see it in a quiet mode? Okay, can you do that? Fauzi wants to say something, please go.
I'm speak as a
just one simple point. As a comment to our colleagues from Santa Barbara, the last presentation about MELA Notes. In 1962-63, David Partington was a board member at MESA. And he was working with another professor who sent the questionnaires, but he was there. And that's where it comes from. And Labib Zouia, unfortunately, when I arrived in Cambridge, I saw Partington with his tall body coming out of the post office, and he was telling me he was dressed up. I said, what's going on? He said he was going to Labib Zouia's funeral. So this is very important. And then the other founder of the association, George Atiyah, used to be, he's a graduate of Chicago, University of Chicago, the Oriental Studies with, and also he worked, he knew Mohsen Mahdi as well. And he went to Puerto Rico when Mr. Partington was working on the board of MESA to, to create the association. I learned this only 3 weeks ago from David Partington. And, and the thing I forgot to mention to all of you, our division, and which became department, and then it was division again, was like a nest, bee nest, hive. It was, full of activities. Alice Dia brought a bibliography about 1,001 articles about women back then. And Helen Gucknauer, I wrote in the stuff, Helen Vincent, she indexed al-Marahil, and we published it in Saudi Arabia. And I did the bibliography of Arab Americans, first of kind in Arab American literature, North, South. I visited everywhere, including McGill, St. Paul here, wherever there was. Ilya Bumadi's family, Gibran's family. We worked very, very hard to collect it, but we were like soldiers. I don't even call myself a founder or something, but I contributed as a soldier working for David Partington, who was the chief. I was the Indian. And that's what it takes. And for you all, if you work together, you will do a lot of things for your own good and your own libraries. And you are here to serve your students and faculty. Never forget that. You're working for them and do your job, the best way possible. Collect all the wonderful books in the world. I think this is transporting all this knowledge, manuscript, documents, postcards, everything from Middle East. This has never happened in history. Thank you, Library of Congress, who takes big part in that. Thank you for Suleiman, who took a part in that. And you should thank you. Make the record, okay, for your own sake. What will be gone? Like most of our friends, I know from that time, they left, no problem. Anyway, thank you so much for inviting me. Honestly, I have so much memory and my mind travels because I spent all my life traveling, looking for books. In Morocco, they say, if Fauzi passes by a book, he doesn't see it, the book will call him. I mean, it's like workaholic type. I devoted my life, my youth, since I was 27. And until now, I'm working with the loyal ones who appreciate good collections, good selection, understanding what's going on, new trends, and so on. There is nothing. Less is plenty. Not build the stacks of books on the shelf nobody can read. Think of the students and the faculty, and I think you will be all fine. And I wish you the best of luck. Good evening.